So yeah, now I noticed that I was having this thing that even S.N. Goenka in their text had talked about, and Goenka is a hardcore science dude. He was an industrialist, you know, ran, I think, huge multinational trade companies, I believe, in the steel industry or something like that. And he wasn't one to fall for the woo-woo all the time. He talked about, as far as I know, he was quite a rationally driven individual. In order to be a successful industrialist in today's world, I would imagine you have to be that. But he also wrote in his book that there was sort of like some of his books on the, I believe it was the Satipatthana Sutras, the discourses by the Buddha that led to the Vipassana technique. And he wrote about those sutras and how they're incorporated in Vipassana. And then he'd talk about what are some of the things that are collectively experienced by a lot of the practitioners after him running this thing for so many years. And one of them was this something that can be grossly characterized as a form of telepathy. And I noticed I didn't have a two-way radio, I only had a one-way radio. I didn't know if I could go that way, but I was certainly aware that something was coming in this way. And then it made sense to me that maybe spiritual beings have this ability. After all, if you were to pray to God, wouldn't it be telepathy if you're not speaking out loud? Or maybe even the angels can hear what your mind is saying. Demons too in that case. Maybe ghosts as well. Maybe aliens, right? Because I was also there, like telepathic aliens, dude, you know? Now here's the thing. I started to sit in my balcony, read, meditate, and I noticed, and I would hear it. Whoa, you would sense that they're there. But now to sort of bridge the gap, they would also make auditory sounds outside, right? I'm not gonna bother to explain in detail, but and then when you're like, is this for reals? And then you'd hear somebody, like a kid's voice outside, yeah, what? Yeah, and then they laugh, you know, like laughter, ha, ha, ha. I was like, what the heck are you guys? Stop bothering me. I find this annoying. And then they'd be gone. And then this would happen a few times. Always like 2, 3 little kids. I'd hear these kids laughing outside, you know, running around. And at the same time, they linked in what's happening here. So I would take out the trash. I live in an apartment complex. I'd take out the trash. And I'd come back into my hallway. And then I'd hear the kids running somewhere. I can't see them. They're always out of sight. But they'd be like, ah, you know. And they'd be like, yeah, we're in your head. You know, and they'd laugh. I was like, what are you guys? Are you vampires? And they're like, no. I said, are you ghosts? No. Ha. I said, are you demons? No. Ha. And they laugh. And this is all in my head. But I'd hear the laughing outside, you know. I'd ask them in my head, and I'd hear the answer outside, like a noise outside, but I wouldn't see them yet. I never saw them. I just knew that I didn't bother looking either. Why bother with these crazy beings, you know? And then I said, are you aliens? And then there was a moment of pause, and then they'd be like talking amongst themselves, and then they're like, yeah. I was like, oh, crazy. And I thought, okay, peace unto all beings, peace and compassion, almost like, you know, Spock, you know, like peace and prosperity for everyone. And I'd be like, let the peace of the Dharma transcend all the universe, because I thought, well, maybe aliens are also Buddhist, right? Maybe there are Buddhists in the other alien societies. But it was weird. Enough about that. And then we roll into 2018, and I noticed something like this peace was gone. I was just constantly bothered. And I thought, maybe this is a test, a hindrance to final awakening. My form of what the Buddhists will call Mara. Mara tempted the Buddha before his final awakening with all kinds of destruction and blah, 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 right? Because there's a certain darkness in the world that doesn't want people to become enlightened or something like that. So I thought, maybe this is just a challenge for me. I need to see it through It takes a lot longer because I'm a householder. I'm not stuck in a temple anywhere. I can't dedicate 10 hours every day for months. I'm lucky if I get to dedicate 30 minutes. And I get 10 days a year at these sessions. So I signed up for another one, 2018. Went through it all. 10 days went by pretty good. And nothing is crazy. I just maintained kind of like that really high state of sort of high firing, kind of like, a V8 sports engine just continuously doing its rounds. And I'm becoming more aware of this mental phenomenon. I came home again in 2018. I didn't have the same peaceful state as 2017. I just felt like after the summer, towards the fall and winter, it felt like it was ramping up, the challenge, the struggle. And I was starting to get a little frustrated. And once in a while, like once a month, something would pop in my head and it would say, are you sure you're on the right path? What if you're going to hell? I was like, what the? Man, I haven't thought about that since high school, And it's like, you seem so sure about your decisions and where you're going. I said, yeah. How can you be? And I said, I have no other evidence of another path. Nothing has come to me. I said, if there is something like a Jesus or a God, I will accept. But I just don't know. So how can I make the jump? I need to do my path. And I need to do it with the full volition of my intention and my energy. So, okay. But technically, if you analyze Buddhist philosophy far enough, you'll see that it's very critical of a creator God. Because any God that creates for its own pleasure must be sub-enlightened, because it subjects other beings to potential damnation and suffering. So it doesn't have very much positive to say about the God of Abraham, right? But it's my path, right? It's what's given me so much. And towards the end of 2018, long story short, I was collapsing. My mind was ravaged constantly. And there comes a point where you will notice, for example, what they call like energy points in your body. And you've done so much body scanning that you become very in tune with these things. A long story short, it's like chakras and ki and stuff like that. The Christians don't talk so much about that. I have a theory that it's actually because these things are much more, they're reminiscent of our perfect bodies before we were ejected out of Eden. And now in our crippled state, they're not fully engaged. And in the Bible, of course, it's like, yeah, don't pay attention to that. It's not necessary, Most of it is just distractions to lead you in the wrong path, to hear the teachings of esoteric crap, the occult. All that garbage is just going to lead you astray, to open your body up to demons and energy vampires. And I noticed that the well of energy, vitality, was being siphoned away, and there was little I could do to save it. I mean, whoa. And after a few months during this sort of energy attack, I noticed I couldn't even walk with my shoulders out straight. I was hunched over, and even at work, I had to leave early often because I was just bossed, man, And at that moment, I said, I need some higher power to protect me, The Buddhists have something they call like the Mahakala, the Dharmic protector. You can look him up too. It's all garbage. Mahakala didn't do crap for me. But I said out there, whatever's out there, man, I need your help. I'm gonna buckle down. I don't know where this is going, but it's not good, you know. And I said, if there's a God, I give you my soul, you know. At least it's a lover of righteousness, you know. So I'm the same. And I even visualized in my heart that some Buddhists say that there is no soul, but I said, I don't care, man. So I visualized that my soul I was bringing out of myself and handing it to God. And in like this whirlwind type of thing, it was being sent up. And a few days after, something came in and said, I was like, good, you know? I was like, what? Are we like going straight Bible now, you know? And I had so many reservations with that. And it was like, no way, man, you know how many times I've sat with my friends and dissing this thing? I don't have an appetite for that at all. And then this thing came in and said, you Buddhists are so good at recognizing your own ego attachments to ideas and truths. Well, here's another one. Kill that ego attachment and recreate a new understanding pronto. Make it happen. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I need to do that right away.